Yes, sir. What's up, people? It's your boy, I'm Chris Dog One, and I am back with another video. Seems like the Cleveland Cavaliers as an organization has canceled plans to remodel the arena. And this remodeling was supposed to happen, and Dan Gilbert was willing to spend $140 million to remodel the stadium, the Quicken Loans Arena. Now, with this news coming out, this may hurt their chances of getting and landing an NBA All-Star event. Okay, this may derail them in trying to convince the NBA to have the NBA All-Star game in Cleveland. All right. Now, a lot of people haven't been talking about this. Okay, but your boy is. Okay, this should warn the Cleveland Cavaliers fans, the NBA organization, hell, even NBA insiders like Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless, and others. This should prepare you guys, and this should tell you guys that LeBron James has clearly made his decision, and he is not going to entertain a notion of going back to Cleveland. Okay, with this news, this is a clear indication that LeBron James is not willing to sign, is not signing back with the Cleveland Cavaliers. All right, and I think this has been a trickle-down effect, particularly what done transpired last week. They managed to get a trade involving Kyrie Irving. The Cleveland Cavaliers was going to get Isiah Thomas, Jay Crowder, I forgot the center's name, and an NBA draft later this year. It could be upwards to the 18 pick or somewhere in the top 10. Okay, and when that trade was made, the Cleveland Cavaliers were having second thoughts, particularly about Isiah Thomas. Even though the Boston Celtics has pretty much told everyone that Isiah Thomas was not going to be available in training camp, preseason, and yes, he was going to miss NBA regular season games. But the the Boston Celtics and Danny Ainge, they had a game plan if that would have happened, because Isiah Thomas had two options: either have surgery on his hip or just let it heal on its own. Now, the last video I uploaded a couple of days ago, I was explaining to you guys, when you're dealing with your lower body, particularly with smaller players, they utilize that lower body in so many ways. They depend on that lower body when you're talking about a center, or someone that's much taller than them, like a small forward or a shooting guard, whatever the case may be. Even though when you're talking about NBA players, they all use a lower body, but I feel like smaller players use it the most. The original Isiah Thomas had lingering problems with his lower body. AI had problems. Tiny Archibald, he even had problems. The list goes on and on when you're talking about smaller players. Okay, and Isiah chose to, let it heal on its own, because he couldn't afford having surgery. Now, if he would have had surgery and he's on a contract year, and let's just say, hypothetically speaking, he was with the Boston Celtics, and let's hypothetically also speak that he didn't return until after the All-Star break, then when the season was over with, Danny Ainge and the Boston Celtics organization, they can go to the table with, well, you really didn't prove yourself this year. Okay, we understand what you did 2 years ago, but this is a what have you done for me lately league. Okay, so they can sort of bargain him not a max level contract, but a decent contract, and they can have the reasoning behind that is simple, that, well, you're injury prone, you really didn't do too much this year, this, that, and the third. The Celtics would have hold all the leverage in re-signing Isiah Thomas, okay? So that's why Isiah Thomas chose rest, hoping that rest will allow the hip to to heal on its own, okay? And that's where we are at the crossroad, and that's why the Cleveland Cavaliers had second thoughts on this trade. Now, at the end of the day, nothing's going to transpire. The Boston Celtics are not going to give them any more assets than they already have, okay? So the trade is as is, okay? And when you're looking at it from the Cleveland standpoint, this was the best deal that anyone offered them. The Phoenix Suns wasn't going to offer the Cleveland Cavaliers a lot what they wanted. The Spurs, there was really no team out there that can give them more than what they can get from the Boston Celtics. So chances are this deal is going to get done later on today. I told you this, guys, a couple of days ago. This trade is going to be finalized today. Cleveland may get a draft pick in the second round, but I don't think it's I don't think it's going to be anything significant. The players they really want, the Celtics are keeping those players. They're saying, like, you're not getting these players, okay? You already got players and a decent draft pick that really, to be truthfully honest with you, no one in the NBA league is offering them that high of a pick, okay? So when you put all of that in, and then you're talking about the Cleveland Cavaliers are not going to remodel the Quicken Loans Arena. They're not going to invest $140 million. Dan Gilbert's not going to do that. And if with this deal going down, it may prolong them. They may not ever, never get an NBA All-Star game, okay? Particularly if LeBron James leaves, okay? Which I'm on the record telling you guys, LeBron James is leaving at the end of this year. A lot of NBA analysts are saying that this is going to happen, okay? And when you look at the landscape of it, particularly with the Cleveland Cavaliers, what pieces they have to attract LeBron James to even sign a 2-year extension. Just look at the roster. Kevin Love, he's not really interested in playing with Kevin Love. J.R. Smith is only getting older. They can't move that contract. Iman Shumpert, he's limited. And the best opportunity for them to trade Shumpert was 2 years ago, okay? Christian Thompson, he's a good player. I don't have no problem with Christian Thompson, but when you compare his talent and you max it with his salary, it's salary here and talent there. I don't think there's a real huge demand for Christian Thompson, okay? Then you start hearing all these other ridiculous rumors talking about, well, they can get Boogie Cousins by trading Iman Shumpert. Why would the New Orleans Pelicans do that? Even if Boogie Cousins goes to the New Orleans organization and say, hey, look, this is my final year. It's a wrap. The New Orleans Pelicans would just say, well, okay, we'll just wait till the end of the year and try to reason with him and give him a max offer and hope upon hope that max offer would attract him to stay with the New Orleans Pelicans instead of trading his services to Cleveland to better them. And they're stuck with Iman Shumpert, and pretty much that's it. The Cleveland Cavaliers, they're cap strapped. They really don't have a future. They mortgage away all of their future draft picks to build a championship contending team. And out of 3 years, they did win a ring, and they have been going to the finals. But at the end of the day, was that one ring that important? And this is a question that Dan Gilbert is pondering over. This is not something I'm saying, but Dan Gilbert is probably pondering, okay, yeah, we won a ring, but at the end of the day, look at my franchise. It's pretty much not as valuable that I thought it could have been by adding LeBron James, okay? I don't, when you talk about the roster's not that very attractive. Even if LeBron James leave, what else I have? When you're talking about Isiah Thomas, a lot of people think that, well, you can re-sign Isiah Thomas, but look at it on the bigger picture. Is Isiah Thomas going to be enough to draw other free agents to the Cleveland Cavaliers? No. Okay. So there's a chance and there's a possibility that the Cleveland Cavaliers could not sign Isiah Thomas. Just let him walk. Let him go to the open market. See what the open market can offer him. Okay. This year is going to be a very questionable year, even though I feel like the Cleveland Cavaliers gotten a little bit better. But at the end of the day, I feel like they're going to be the beast of the East. I think Boston is going to give them some competition, but they should be able to win the series with the Boston Celtics because they have LeBron James, and the most important pieces for the Boston Celtics, they all just starting to play with each other this year. Maybe they blend in a lot quicker, a lot sooner. Maybe the chemistry is there, or maybe it's going to take time for them to develop because they have so many parts for the Boston Celtics. But I feel like the Boston Celtics are going to be a championship contending team for after the end of this season. I feel 4 to 6 years they're going to be in the scope of things, okay? And they're going to be one of those teams that's going to be trying to compete for Beast of the East, okay? So with this news, it wasn't a shocker to me. It wasn't a huge surprise, but I thought a lot of people were going to jump onto this and pounce onto this, and this should give you a telltale sign of what direction LeBron James is going to be going at the end of this season, okay? It seems like to me Dan Gilbert is, he's not, spending to be spending, okay? Seems like to me Dan Gilbert is preparing for the worst, and the worst is LeBron James leaving. So Dan Gilbert is looking at this like, hey, how can I make this salvable for me? How can I make this work for me? Okay. I think when you look at the Cleveland Cavaliers squad, it's a little bit better, but they're still gonna have a hard time with the Golden State Warriors. They addressed some problems when they played up against the Golden State Warriors, but now they have new problems, okay? Who is going to be second in scoring when LeBron James go to the bench or LeBron James gets tired, okay? Who is going to hit the winning shot, okay? It was Kyrie Irving, okay? I feel like between Isiah Thomas and Rose, I think point-wise, they're going to match up or get more points than what Kyrie Irving got. But however, who is going to take that last shot? And that means that they're going to have a lot of close games that in the final 2 minutes, they have to make the right decision to make the right shot. Now, Tyronn Lue stated that they're going to run an offensive game. It's not going to be no more let LeBron James take the ball, let him dribble it down, and then let him go to the hole, and he can either slam it or throw it to the right person. They're going to actually run plays for their offense. In other words, playing without the ball, okay? You only got one ISO player that you really have to feed, and that's LeBron James. Derrick Rose is an ISO player, but they're not really too concerned about, somehow Derrick Rose is going to have to share a lot of the ISO plays assignments with LeBron James. I don't think it's going to be that type of situation. It's going to be LeBron James, and then everybody else is going to have to know their role, particularly on the offensive side of things. I think they've gotten better on defense. I think their perimeter game is a lot better. I think their rebounding game is a lot better, but they lost a lot of other things, like who is going to get the ball in the last couple of minutes. Now, a lot of people think that it's going to be LeBron James' year where he's going to take the mantle and do that, okay? And that remains to be seen. But guys, tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. Please, notification gang. Hit that notification icon, that notification bell, so it'll let you know when my next video or live stream is going down. It's your boy. I'm Chris91 and I am out. Peace.